Yes, it's the final countdown. Arsenal. What timing, Alex? Arsenal beat Manchester United 1-0 to take it down to the final game of the season as Manchester City also demolished Fulham, which means Arsenal are in the title race to the final game of the season. It is not over just yet. Currently 1-0 to Liverpool after about 1 minute, and Emi Martinez making one of the biggest clangers of his career, which actually keeps Tottenham still in that top 4 race, which means they hopefully they will be playing for something come tomorrow evening. I'm joined by Alex and Steve. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, good. Sorry, technical difficulties, but I'm here.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Feeling better now Liverpool have just scored.
Also, FA Cup winner. So, yeah, happy.
Oh, yes. Manchester United wins.
FA Cup.
Right. Oh, yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
There is some glory in Manchester United.
Glory.
There is some 2-1 victory over Chelsea, a big win. Because Chelsea.
It's 4-0 over Spurs.
It's Tottenham.
Oh, wrong game. That's the semi-final.
Oh well, I tell you, it was never in doubt then, was it? You know,
I was say it was a great game.
If it was against Spurs, in a cup final, then I don't even know why you bothered watching it. Might as well just go on and
Well, as you can tell, I clearly didn't.
No, I haven't.
We've got plenty to discuss tonight. Also, Chelsea's turnaround. They could end up in the top 6, which is completely thrown me out of nowhere. They're potentially they're starting to take a Man United, which we would not have thought that would be a topic of conversation a few weeks ago, but they have done. And also the latest transfer news as well for the teams in and around the top 6. First and foremost, what 2 better guests to have on right now? Steve, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Arsenal got the victory. Wasn't the best game for the spectator. Arsenal weren't at their best either, but didn't really need to be. Manchester United really didn't test Arsenal too much yesterday, I would have said.
No, I didn't think Man United were that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, you are right. I mean, Arsenal never really, got out of second gear, if you like. We've seen Arsenal the way they've played in recent weeks, and what they certainly did, or what Mikel Arteta certainly did, was give Manchester United quite a lot of respect. I think I've been sort of championing all week that this shouldn't be looked at as a given. This shouldn't be looked at as a game that was going to be 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, and it was a given. I mean, look, Arsenal were in a title race. The most important thing was to win that game, and I think our manager went out there to play the game the way I've been was saying all week. Don't go gung-ho, don't go flying at them. Just do a professional job, get the job done. 1-0, get in, get out, go home, take it to the last day. And I always thought it was always gonna be like that. And not that I'd like to. Not that I'm saying I'm a big head. I just thought it was obvious because I couldn't work out why so many people just thought it was going to be an hammering. I just didn't get it.
There's part of it which was there was a lot of Man United fans after their 4-0 loss to Crystal Palace were basically saying, "You've got to beat us. You've got to beat us."
Yeah, it never works out like that. It never goes like that.
Yeah, I know. And obviously there's the rival fans that want to use this as a beating stick for potentially calling us bottlers if we were to lose, or not even lose, to drop points to Man United getting it at Old Trafford. But I felt it was going to be a tough game. I didn't think it was going to be easy. I didn't think it was going to be a walkover, and it was exactly how I thought it was.
And I'm glad he went out that way, Mikel Arteta, because he knew that our record ain't great there, and whatever you say, Fulham on certain matches, form does go out the window. It does. We've watched enough football over the years where form goes out the window. Manchester United may get thrashed by this team, thrashed by that team, thrashed. I don't know, Burnley, but you can have that. You can have all that. But when it comes to certain games, it goes out the window. It just to forget it. You know, forget the fact that it should be 7-0, 5-0. They're not a Man United player that shouldn't get in the Arsenal team. That is all irrelevant. Irrelevant. And people should know better than to start saying 4-0, 5 and all this, because Mikel Arteta knew that. And that's why you see the game and people, you know, saying, oh, that weren't a good game. Arsenal didn't come out. That's the way he planned it. He wasn't going to take any chances because, you know, he knows how things can change and how things can happen. And there were times when United, I don't know, they were dangerous at times. You know, I thought Diallo had a good game. I thought, you know, people were saying Ben White. I thought Garnacho really gave Ben White a hard time through the whole match. I was nervous when Garnacho got the ball and was going at Ben White. That should give you some idea. You know, they was dangerous. And I think Arsenal knew that. And I think you've got to big up Mikel Arteta as a manager, because at certain teams he's done that all season and still got the 3 points.
Yeah, no, I agree. Alex, could you take anything out of the game after the loss? I know that there was a lot of people that thought that it's going to be more damage limitation for Man United, but it really wasn't that at all. And actually did put up a fight. Højlund caused a bit of trouble here and there. As Steve said, Garnacho was trying to get down the wing. I don't know what Anthony was doing when he was coming on as a sub, though. Them facial expressions are a bit too much for me to handle. I actually cannot handle that geezer. He's not even real. He's a myth.
Kids, I must admit, sorry, Alex. I must admit, I was scared, mate.
Hey, Joe, it did strike fear in me all the way from Shrewsbury. I was worried at that point when I was watching them on the
TV. I see Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. I see them, you know, they're sort of persona changed a little bit, you know, when they see him do that. So, yeah.
No, I disagree with you guys, because I think, look at the squad that we have. Okay, Casemiro in defense. We have Johnny Evans in defense. We had no Bruno. So where's the creativity going to come from? We had Amrabat, who's not played. We've barely seen this guy, and when he does play, it's like, what's going on? Kobe, great. Højlund, not really getting any service. And who else did we have? We had who else was on the pitch that day? Garnacho. Yeah, I mean, that to me is not a proper squad. That's like looking at a B team coming out. I'm sorry, but for me, I am glad that it wasn't more than 1-0, because I thought it was going to be literally an annihilation with that team. But yeah, I guess it's the occasion, isn't it? It's like it's Manchester United, Arsenal, so it still has that feeling to it. But your team are by far superior. But we didn't really even get like a shot on target until I don't even know when. It was like late in the game. I saw that with the stats. So it was never on the cards for a score. However, I feel like when it's that 1-0 situation, like it's quite nervy, because you never know. Like it could, one of those things could happen. So I think that, they did well to hold on. And I think we've got a lot of work to do in that team, honestly.
I agree. Man United have got a lot of work to do. And you say you only got a shot off until later on, but Arsenal stopped Manchester City over 2 games from having a shot on target at all. Arsenal stopped had Manchester City down to 1 shot over 2 games at one point. So this is the best defense in the league. So to get a couple of shots on target, I know it's at home and it's not like, oh, well done, you got a couple of shots on target, but it was a lot tighter than I thought it would. And I think the reason why it was always going to be that way is because Arsenal have a level of respect for Man United that won't ever go away. We're not just going to go to Man United no matter what form and think, oh, we're going to steamroll this team. Whereas other lesser teams may think, what have we got to lose when we go to Man United? Let's try it. Let's go at them. Whereas Arsenal have a lot to lose if they were to go gun-ho at 1-0 and then Man United get the equaliser and we drop points and it doesn't even go down to the last game. It's pretty much done and dusted there, and it's all down to Manchester City completely, even before they could win the league tomorrow. So, look, I think it was the occasion. It was the fact that Arsenal had a lot to lose if they were to drop points, and it was at Old Trafford against Man United. All those culminated together has made it a little bit more difficult than people expected it to be. But again, I still don't think, even if Man United had a full strength squad, yes, it would be a lot tougher. Even if they weren't in great form, I still wouldn't think it would be a lot tougher. But yeah, for Arsenal, it was all just about getting the 3 points.
It's also that moment where they probably would have known the results from the previous day with City. So it's like you've got that on you as well. So you're trying to just be like, right, okay, this is every game now is must win regardless. So when you've got that in your mind, it can make you or break you. And I think that they stood firm and they held it together. I mean, yeah, my team have nothing literally to play for. I don't want to be in the Conference League, so I hope they're not trying for that. So I guess they're just figuring it out. Maybe this is Ten Hag trying to figure out what goes where. But I mean, yeah, the fact that they didn't concede more goals, that was the most shocking thing for me. I was like, wow. So.
You say you don't want to be in a Conference League. Is that just because it's a lesser trophy? Would it be the same if it was the Europa League? Would you want to be in that or not?
I think Europa League, yeah, I wouldn't mind being in Europa League. I don't really want to see my team going to Uzbekistan, like going to play against mechanics in a game. I just think it's just no point. They might as well just stay in England and focus on the 3 competitions that they can be in and just perfect that rather than adding another one. And I don't want to do that one.
Steve, when Arsenal were out of Europe, when did you feel at the time it was probably better to sort of hit that reset button, stay out of Europe, just focus on the 3, or when we didn't have that those European games, was it how was it for you at the time? Can you remember what it was like?
Awful, mate. Awful. You know, I just being out of Europe when you used to being in it for so long, and then all of a sudden you've got that, Saturday to Sunday gap. When everybody else is playing in midweek. For me, it was awful. I hated it. And I mean, I think Man United should grab whatever they can. At the moment. Not necessarily to win. I mean, we all know that Manchester United is and the new owners are looking at youth development for a start. We all know that the players that are coming through, we see their bench, on the weekend, apart from 2 of them, 5 of them I'd never heard of. Do you know what I mean? I think that was 18, 17-year-old and how do you expect them to grow? You've got to, you want to take them out into Europe, even if it is, to this country or that country, and even when later on you get the Europa League clubs drop in anyway, so you get decent sides, you're going to have decent games, you get knocked out the cups, then for me, I can't. For me, I would feel that Manchester United, especially from where they are at the moment and the development, I would have thought they want to play as many games as possible. They're not going to win the league next year. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to qualify for Champions League next year. So you've got to have some goals. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have some goals at the start of the season. Your players, you've got to look forward to something. And look, I know it's a Conference League, but look, Aston Villa in it, they didn't find it too easy. Look at them; they're favourites to go into the Champions League next season. It's not done them any harm, is it? So, I think Man United should jump here, and I don't think they should scoff at it. Do you know what I mean? I know Alex does. Not that she scoffs it. I know she don't want to. I don't know how other Man United fans feel. But, look, nobody's too big to sort of say, I don't want to play in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Nobody.
Real Madrid, are they not too big enough to say, I don't want to play in the Conference League? I mean, could you imagine the drop-off?
But you're never going to develop your players if you from going from Saturday to Sunday. What are you going to do all in the rest of the week?
But I think you can. I still think you can though, because I think he'll have time. I just feel like he'll have time to practice and it just takes that pressure off of like with traveling and all this kind of stuff. They can really focus on developing the young players, figuring out what the tactics are, because I don't even know what this style of play is. So I just think, being in Europe, for me, it would be a good thing because of this season, the way it's
But
gone.
how will your young players learn about playing in match games, like match situations, playing? You know, how will you can't do that on the training pitch.
FA Cup, League Cup, that's all to play for still. So
the only thing is, I would say with the FA Cup is that's one of your main cups. And then what I found with when Arsenal were out of it was it got to a point where those FA Cup and League Cup games where you may have given youngsters games, you're actually playing the first team players, or you're playing the players that are maybe on the bench for the League Cup. So the youngsters aren't really getting an opportunity. That's why I didn't
leave
like
the main players at home. Leave the main players at home. Then leave the Rashfords, leave the players that you're going to play on a Saturday and Sunday at home.
I just think with Erik ten Hag, that is, as much as we think that it would be that way, it wouldn't. I've seen him do it. Like when that year when we won the Carabao Cup, against Reading, you'd think, oh, he's going to rest Casemiro, he's going to rest Rashford. He literally played the full first team squad. I was like, what is that? And he did it all the time. Like all the teams you think he wouldn't play them against, he did. And I think that's why I just don't trust it. That's why I don't see the point of it, because it's just going to be more injuries, more problems. And it all depends on who we get in the door in the summer. So for me, I'm just like, forget it. Let's just like let this year ride out without Europe. Let's just like figure out what's going on with the players that we have and who's coming in. And then if we manage to get in next season, then great, we can build on that. But I just think it just all needs like ripping apart and starting again.
Do you see Ten Hag being the manager next season?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, you sound disappointed.
It is, but I have to be realistic with things, and like injuries, what I keep being told, and that's what I feel like is going to be his saving grace, because there's been so many players injured. So I think he'll have that leeway to see if who he brings in the summer or the background staff that we now have got into the club, that those changes will potentially help him or break him. I don't know. So I will want to see next season what he can do, and if I'm right, then I will tell everyone.
Do you not have any concerns about whether it would be his players or players that potentially Man United would want to bring in, like a director of football type scenario where they would bring in players and he's got to coach them, as opposed to the other way around? Because if it doesn't work out with Ten Hag, then you've got Ten Hag players.
I think it should be their players, because the ones he has brought in so far, I'm not feeling any of them apart from maybe Martinez. Yeah. So let them do the work, the scouting, the recruitment, and he'll just have to be a coach, be a coach. I'm sure he'll have some say, but I'd rather them do what they need to do in the football world and bring in the best, or bring in some quality, please.
That's why Jason Wilcox has been brought in, because no disrespect to Ten Hag, but the idea, well, in Ineos's mind, is that he knows more about a player than what Ten Hag does. That's why he's been brought in, because he was a player, and that's his job. Ten Hag's job's to coach, but basically they've sort of had a meeting at some point and said exactly what Alex has said. His signings have been absolute pants.
They have been. They've been terrible, if I'm honest. Martinez looks like a player. But all the rest.
But the due diligence done to Martinez. I mean, the guy, it's like Arteta says, if you're not available, then what's the point? That's why Partey and Tierney's going. That's why they're leaving. We love them. They're great, excellent players. Should be part of Arsenal squad. But if they're not available, then you're on your way. And there's no point being there. No point. It's a poor sign at the moment. That's a bad signing. I mean, hopefully he'll come back and he'll stay fit, because he's a good player. But if he's not fit, it's a bad signing.
But I think they rushed him back too quickly, and I think we've just not had any other options. Like when he came back, like who was there to be backup for him? I think we had, who did we have? We had Maguire, and I think that was it at the time, because we were so thin on the ground. So he's rushed back. I feel like whole injury crisis is really ridiculous. Like Mount re-injured again. Shaw came back and he's injured again this week. It's unbelievable. So that has to change as well. Like you lot, we got your doctor as well. Like you've sold us a dodgy.
Yeah, you took him, and I didn't understand why you did that because we're a terrible.
But your injuries were bad before you went there.
That even worse.
They're worse now, but they're bought. But they're new players that have been bought. Mount, Martinez, Malacia. Do you know what I mean? These are all players that. Well, Casemiro wasn't, but you said I'll give the okay that he could come. Do you know what I mean? But he wasn't his signing, so we've got to give him. Can't fully blame him for that. But most of them who have been injured are his signings.
Yeah.
So, you can't blame the doctor for that. Does seem to be a bit of a pattern. Do you know what I mean? But unlucky, bad. Should have done his due diligence.
No, I would say if a player's not had a bad injury record previously, then. I mean, it's bad luck. But what I would say with the likes of Martin, what?
I don't think Mount's injury record was great at Chelsea.
No, I don't think.
What was Martinez's like?
I don't know.
What was Malacia's like?
Martinez's wasn't that bad before. He had an injury at Ajax, but because I was looking at it, he's only like 25. But it wasn't that bad before. This is like the longest stretch of time he's been injured at United.
I think Mount had an injury before he came to Man United.
He did, yeah. He was injured. He was injured.
Prior to that, I don't know how bad he was injured. But what I would say is, I don't think Man United had much of a contingency plan when it comes to if Martinez was injured. Who's the like-for-like placement for Martinez? Now, if you're going to build a team around a defence which is passing out the back with your goalkeeper, then why have you got players as his backup who are not even that type of player, not even close to that profile of player that plays out the back and is expansive on the ball and can move into midfield? You've got no other players that can do that. So if you lose that player, the drop off is too much. That's what I think Man United needs to do. They need to plan and build a squad that can do that, as opposed to just having bits and bobs that when on your day and when you've got the main squad tick, but other than that, don't tick, because no one ever has that. No one ever has 100% fit squad or the main players there all the time. There's always a drop off at some point. And I think they need to plan for that.
Maybe it's something to do with the Dutch league. Dutch players seem to get injured a lot when they come to this league. Maybe it's to do with
Jurgen Timber.
Something to do with the pace or something, the training. Because it's a different level, isn't it? You know what you have to do in a 90-minute game in the Premier League to what you have to do 90 minutes in the Eredivisie is like night and day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It certainly is. Next up, Manchester City demolish Fulham. Steve, did you think it was going to be anything less? I know there were people out there saying Fulham could be I think every time Man United plays someone, it's like, do you know what? This could be a tricky game for Man City. And they just absolutely demolished them. 4-0, man sent off, goal after 13 minutes, Gvardiol's with a brace. Joke.
You allow yourself that little bit of like that 10-minute sit down where you think, they could do something today. They could do something. Who they got in there? Paulinho. Yeah, Muniz, William, all they got Leno.
Bobby got Reed, you never know.
They got a few Arsenal players in that team, haven't they? They might be good. They might go up another 30-40%, but then like you turn it on and after 10 minutes you're like, oh, that's over 1-0, 2-0. But even when you're thinking these things, you know they're going to get at Fulham, are going to get hammered anyway. I never thought Fulham was going to do anything, to be honest with you. Their record against them ain't great. I think I see a couple of the goals, and then that was that. I couldn't be bothered to watch it like after that. It was light work for them. And there's not really a lot to say. They're just Arsenal and Man City are just mashing each other blow for blow. And now it's gone down to the last day of the season. So, which I'm just like buzzing about, I must admit. Do you know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. But
I'll happily take that.
Unbelievably take that, mate. I just like it was interesting because like someone said, I'd see somewhere today, like is that, on Sunday there will be a Premier League trophy at the Emirates when we wake up with red and white ribbons on it, just waiting for us to lift for the trophy there and waiting. And you're like, wow, do you know what I mean? All what we've worked for this season. Do you know what I mean? To that last day, to be able to have.
Surely it's going to be on a helicopter or ready to go.
No, I think it's a replica, mate. I think there's two. I think it's a replica and the actual real one. And I think which one will be at the Emirates will all depend on the.
They're not going to raise air miles.
I think it'll depend. I think it'll all depend on the Tottenham result. Do you know what I mean? On what that score is. If it's a draw or a win to Tottenham, then I wouldn't be surprised if the main trophy would be waiting at the Emirates, because their Arsenal will then probably be favourites then to win it. Where if they beat Tottenham, obviously Arsenal will be waiting for the slip up on the last day, and vice versa. We've gone on to Arsenal a bit, mate. I just want to get out of that excitement there and big up the boys for what they've done this season, because Mikel Arteta, I mean,
Steve has crowbarred the conversation to Arsenal.
It's
not a surprise, Steve.
No, but we should be applauding. We should be telling everybody out there. Do you know what I mean? 38 days now, we're taking the so-called, the greatest team in Europe over the last three years to the final day. Because we had all this. Oh, you got the hardest games. You got to play Tottenham, and when you got to play Chelsea, you got to play Man United, and you got them away. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Well, we just blew them all away, and just buzzing for that last day of the season now, mate. I can't wait, mate. And just like it's really, again, just the same little story. Last time we won the Premier League trophy was in 2004, and on that was the Tottenham. We won it at Tottenham. Obviously, you'll know that. But I was down the caravan that day, and I've had a caravan basically all my life, really, all the way through. And I've never ever been down there on the last day in all those 20 years. Even though in between, obviously, I have. Guess where I am this Sunday?
It's down the caravan.
20 years later,
it's coming home
to the day.
So is there?
I will be down the caravan. The people might say, "Oh, you just made that happen." Well, I haven't made it happen for the last 20 years. Somehow I've swerved it.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I said a few months ago, not even knowing when the last day of the season was, because if I knew, I probably would have said, "No, I'm not going down there that day," but I promised. And so how's that for an omen?
Well, we know to thank if we were in the league. Steve
definitely,
and his
definitely.
caravan.
I was going to say about the City thing, actually, going back to that. My feeling is always like when it gets to April time, like that's when City come alive. I feel like so for me, every time I'm like, it's a no-brainer they're going to win. Like I don't expect them not to. I know that they are, because this is when they just perform at their best for some reason. I mean, Gvardiol, for example, I think being moved to the left back position, he's just on fire at the moment, like scoring. He could have been the first defender in the Premier League to score a hat-trick, but he gave it to Alvarez instead, which was so disappointing. But I mean, he's doing really, really well. And I think I was always calling him like generational, because when I watched him at Leipzig, I just thought he was amazing. Mm-hmm. But now that when he moved over, I heard so many people just sort of putting him down and what's he doing. But I think it's taking him a bit of time to acclimatise. And now he's in his stride at the time when they all get into their stride.
Yeah. Never doubt. 9 times out of 10. Never doubt a Pepper.
Yeah,
never doubt. Do not be fooled. Do not embarrass yourself by after a few games, right? Go, that player waste the money.
Yeah,
right? Don't do it. Don't do it, because it's all going to come back to bite you in the arse.
Exactly. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that
Calvin
again, once again, the that people were very quick to call Guardiola flop, and it seemed a bit false to me.
Yeah, it was weird because I was
world we live in.
It's like when someone joins a league from another league, it's like, isn't there like an unwritten rule that you kind of like take the time? But I think rival fans always want to like laugh because who was it that joined Chelsea that season and just had a terrible season? They just got rid of him straight away. And Koulibaly, and he had a really good AFCON, and everyone was like raving about him. And then he came, and then it was like just terrible. But I feel like with Gvardiol, he's 22. I just think he just needed time, and now we're seeing.
Yeah. Most players do. Most players.
The fact that he can be put on the left wing and as a left back and just fly and play the way he's playing, I think. More credit to Pep. Like he knows what he's doing clearly. So yeah. He don't get much wrong, Pep.
No, he certainly doesn't. He doesn't. Another team that's absolutely turned around their fortunes recently is Chelsea. Currently overtook Manchester United on the weekend, and currently sitting in 7th, 57 points so far this season. Same with Newcastle on 36 games as well, with 2 games left. Chelsea top 6 when they spent most of the season in the bottom half of the tables. Steve, do you think there's been a big turnaround for Pochettino? Luck? Do you think over time he will come good?
Yeah, again, I mean, with Chelsea, I mean, I've always said with Chelsea, I mean, look, there's no doubt about it. They've been awful, but Pochettino ain't become a bad manager overnight. Do you know what I mean? He is a good manager, and again, like Alex said, sometimes class needs time. You just need time to settle in. You've got to give people a chance. Sometimes they might not happen, but a lot of the time these people, managers, players, come good, and I think that's what's happening with Pochettino. He's getting to know his team. It's a young team. Pochettino's known for someone who likes to build a side. He did it at Southampton. He did it at Tottenham. Didn't really do it at PSG. He sort of went straight in and had the big players, and maybe that wasn't his thing. And now Chelsea, I think, could be a good fit for him because he's gone in there and he's gone, right, do what you did sort of thing at Southampton, Spurs, and build Chelsea for us. And it seems like slowly but surely he's doing that. And you've only got to look at some of their players. I mean, okay, look, Cole Palmer's hit it off from day one. He's been a little bit of an exception. But, we was having a lot of fun with Madrid and Caicedo and quite others. Do you know what I mean? And they're starting to play well. They're starting to come good. Caicedo again, he hasn't become a bad player overnight. Madrid, I'm telling you, what next? He ain't a bad player, Madrid. Right? You watch next season. Right? I'm telling you, he's going to be a top player. Or a good Premier League player. I'm not saying he's going to be world class or anything like that, but there's something about him, right? He will be a good player. Action Jackson, do you know what I mean?
Action Jackson,
right? He ain't that bad. I've watched him. I've taken the Mickey.
He's got good positional sense, but he's finishing at the moment, and he scored 14 Premier League goals.
Yeah, but he's young as well. He's young, but they're starting to, bind together. I think what they do need, they need a couple of, older heads in the window, because believe it or not, they can buy. They've sold hotels and they've found loopholes, and they're in quite a good situation, believe it or not. So they'll be spending again. I don't think there's a coincidence in the fact that Castillo is looking a better player since Enzo Fernandez is not in the side. I don't feel personally you can play them together. I don't think they fit.
Yeah,
I think Caicedo's much better when he's on his own with someone like a Gallagher or a number 8 next to him, whether that's Gallagher and he leaves or they bring in someone else. I think Caicedo's much, and I think since Enzo's out, Caicedo, his form's been a lot better. So they're improving Chelsea, and I think they'll only get better. And as you said, they're sitting 7th at the moment. I think they'll get 6th. I think they're favourites out of the 3 teams fighting for that position to get 6. I'd look at their fixtures. I think they win them both. I've seen the fixtures that other teams have got around them. They're more difficult, I feel.
But Newcastle got Brentford away from home. Tough game for them.
Yeah, see, that's tough. And Newcastle and Man United are playing each other, which don't help your 2 situations by playing each other. Because one of you want to win, one of you's going to lose, or you both get a point. Which, and if Chelsea win, that even takes them even further away. You know what I mean? I just feel that Chelsea will get that spot. And yeah, and to be honest with you, who would have thought it? We would not have said that, maybe a couple of months ago. But yeah, you've got to give them their props. They're definitely since February have been one of the form teams in the Premier League. Funny enough, yeah,
they have. Alex, has Chelsea surprised you? Did they push for the back into Europe and that 6th spot potentially?
Is it? I don't know if it surprised me. I think that for me, what I could see with them is that it's a whole new team, like a new crop of players. Like they got rid of so many, like Jorginho, all the mainstays, like Mount, so the people that were there for years. So it's like a whole new dynamic of people. Yeah. And I think that the injuries as well, like in terms of not having Reece James around, Sterling for a long period of time, it's felt really like it's fragmented the team a lot. So and then just in and out. So I feel like Poch had a lot on his plate, but ultimately it's that chemistry with those new players, like not ever playing with each other. So I think that was probably what needed to click and connect with them. And I think now that they're coming along towards the end of the season, now is the time when it's starting to work. I mean, Reece James just came back and then got an assist.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
scored straight away. So, I think now they're on this sort of path. It probably will build, and then maybe potentially by August, when it all comes back again, they'll have a lot more players back, and it might even click even more because Chilwell's not in the squad. So they've still got players to come in, which is quite frightening, actually.
Yeah. They need a forward, didn't they?
Another one.
Who do you think like would fit? I mean, they got Jackson now. He's hitting goals. I mean, would it make him rethink? But who do you think?
But then, do you know what? As well, like I watch them and think they've got Madueke who can score.
I like him.
Palmer. They've got Mudryk. Enzo can sometimes score. So Reece James, they do. Chilwell can score. They do have players that can do it without having a proper out and out number 9. It's like I think Jackson is good for now. But yeah, I mean, if they did have one, I don't know, like maybe Tony, because he's so experienced that he could just slot into that team and potentially run away with it. So that could be a shout.
Mind you, Palmer's been playing. I don't know. They sort of him and Jackson sort of like
cross
over, didn't they? Go back and forth. Don't know if Tony's that type. If he does that,
he's just up there straight. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I don't think if it Arsenal.
Do you think it's make or break for Reece James next season?
Oh Lord, probably. I've never known someone so injured all the time, like just every time. So, what is he? Has he signed a new contract? When's his contract up? What? Because he's their captain, so I'm guessing that their plan is for him to be in Chelsea. So maybe
still a few years left.
Maybe not. Maybe because he's the academy graduate, one of their own. They might try and keep him along, but I mean, you can't if he's constantly injured. It's really difficult with that one.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on Reece James, Steve? Because obviously, I don't think he's played more than 20 games over the last 2 or 3 seasons. He's constantly getting injured. If he has another long-term injury setback, can you see Chelsea not necessarily getting rid of him, but looking elsewhere as the main stake? Yeah,
I mean, at the moment, there are teams interested in him, but at the moment they just won't listen to offers, and I don't blame them for that. And if Chelsea was to say, well, Reece injury's a bit dodgy, do you know what I mean? If someone comes in like a Man City or something, or PSG or something, because they're going to be looking for a Kyle Walker replacement, aren't they? City, we'll let you go. But at the moment, it's a difficult one because I think it will a lot to do with his injuries. I don't think. I think it'll all be down to whether Chelsea want to let him go or not. He's a bit of a homeboy, is Reece. Just he lived literally in the next road to where I lived. So and you know, I know his family not quite well, but I know who they are. But and he's someone I can't really see going to a PSG or going to abroad. I mean, he's been linked with Real Madrid. That's nonsense. But I think it's one of them ones where, yeah, I mean, if he gets injured, Chelsea might have a conversation with him and say, you know, if a big club does come in. But I think at the moment, yeah, I think you just keep him. You keep him and see what happens. If he goes down with an injury like the start of next season again, yeah. But the thing is, you know, these other clubs, then will they want him? Will they want to take him because of his injury record? It's an awkward situation.
It's a very tough situation. Yeah, I mean, I think his saving grace is that he come through the youth ranks and he's the captain. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's how long can you persist with him as your as the main man, or because he's so good. It's a similar situation, which how I feel like with Arsenal with Thomas Partey. The only difference is the age, and with Reece James being a lot younger, I think that's where it saves him a little bit more. But I do worry about him. No matter how good he is, as has been said many a time, the best ability is availability, and he's just never available.
If it wasn't for his injury record, he's just ready made for City, weren't he? You know,
but would Chelsea sell?
I think it's a bit of both. I don't think Reece will ever push to leave because he's a Chelsea boy and he's, like you said, he's the academy. But if City come a knocking and said, Reece, come and play for us, we want you to be Kyle Walker's replacement, and we offer you, you know, we'll offer 80 million for Chelsea. I think Reece and Chelsea then would probably say, okay, do you know what I mean? Because that's a lot of money, and I think they'd respect his wishes. So that's why I said it's an awkward situation, because I think until something like that happens, it's not 100% what will happen. But I think if City came in, I think there'd be some sort of deal could be done.
All right. Let's get on to the transfers now. There's obviously the transfer season. As soon as that final Premier League whistle is blown, people will be all over the transfers. Rumours galore. But as I say all the time, make sure you come here first for the best transfer rumours. First and foremost, Steve, let's start with Manchester City. Obviously, Manchester City, they will be making reinforcements in the summer. You just spoke about Kyle Walker coming towards the end of his time at City. Are there any links to that right back position?
Well, they have been linked with Reece James in the past. You know, that's German Frimpong Pong is one that, you know, City have been linked with, and so yeah, I mean, part of them. Kimmich was another one they've been linked with, that they've shown an interest in, which I thought would have been a good fit. But I mean, at the moment it's early days. I mean, they're also very much looking for someone, you know, to play out on the right side of their thing. I mean, sometimes Foden plays out there, don't they? But I think they want to. What I'm hearing, they want to play Foden more central. So, you know, they have shown interest in Elise's. They have shown interest in Neto's in the past. So that's definitely an area they're looking at. So, and also left back as well. I think you'll see a couple of defenders come in for Manchester City in the window. From what I'm hearing, they're not fully happy with that left hand side. They haven't been happy with it for a while.
It's a bit makeshift, isn't it?
Yeah. So left, right wing. With you, it looks like Bernardo Silva, you know, will leave in the summer. I mean, he's had a release clause written. You know, they're put in for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's been some understanding because he was going to leave last summer. So I think there's some understanding that he will go. So big summer for Man City. Yeah, and there'll be players that are leaving.
Like Cancelo, is there been any links to Cancelo? Because I know obviously it doesn't look like he'd probably be going back to Manchester City on anything long term. So is it likely that Barcelona would push through with that, or are there any other clubs that have been linked to him?
Well, it's another interesting situation. But he's at Barcelona at the moment. He loves Barcelona. They want to sign him from Man City, but Man City are asking for 50, 60 million, and Barcelona haven't got 50, 60 million. So that one's a little bit, up and down at the moment because they've got to start selling first, and Barcelona ain't really got that many sellable, assets when you look at their team.
Yeah.
But big summer for City because a lot of ingoings, a lot of outgoings. So they didn't make too many. There was a couple of bad choices, you would say. Don't think Doco's at the grand running yet. Núñez has looked like a bit of a non-starter at the moment. Whether he'll come good, I don't know. I've not seen enough of him, to be honest with you, in a City shirt. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year for next year for City. There seems to be a lot of players that could be leaving, could be going, coming in.
Have they called their interest in Leverkusen's Wirtz?
No,
he won't leave. He's not going nowhere.
No, please do not.
He's not going. He won't leave. He's not leaving. From what I've been told, it's like one of the stipulations that Xabi Alonso made.
Okay.
When he signed or when he decided to stay at Bayer, was that you're not going to go. I'll stay, but you're not going to get rid of all of my the Wirtzes and the. Alex will be able to run a few of the Garados and even Boniface, Frimpong, all these players. So I think there probably will be a couple that will go from Bayer, but he certainly made stipulations that certain players are by no means to be sold, and you've got to know he has got to be that one of those names, hasn't he?
Another club that had a lot of players linked with exits is Newcastle United. Alexander Isak, Bruno Guimaraes, and the latest rumours is a lot of interest from Anthony Gordon. Steve, have you heard anything on Anthony Gordon? I know there's the latest rumours is that Liverpool are sniffing around.
No, I've not heard nothing on Gordon. I've seen the reports, but I've not heard anything sort of substantial from the people that I talk to anyway. So I think anything that's surrounds Gordon at the minute is pretty much just rumours at this stage. That's where I hang my hat at the minute anyway. I mean, something might in the window might come up, that may mean to be true. We know that Newcastle have got to sell one of their big names.
Yeah.
They've got that's got to happen now. Then we come to the two players, Bruno Guimaraes and Alexander Isak. The likely one to be moving on is Guimaraes, if anybody. Isak, I'm pretty sure won't be leaving. Guimaraes has got the release clause in his contract, so. That could be triggered, and he's
how much is that release clause?
I think it's 100 million, 100 million. But then someone's got to trigger it. And if nobody does leave, then Newcastle are just stuck where they are again, and they can't buy, and they need so many players. The defence needs ripped into pieces. They need left back, right back, centre half, goalkeeper. They need to sell. They need to sell someone. And they also need to sort of balance it up with their books, because of FFP, and that has to happen in the summer. So it's basically take your pick, really. Guimaraes is the one that I feel is more likely to move, if anyone, because I feel he's the more replaceable. I think if Newcastle left, Isak left, Newcastle I can't see who they could replace him. Gamiris plays in the position where I think he's replaceable. Do you know what I mean? You can get someone 50 million, bring him in. Do you know what I mean? Decent sign, you can replay, and you've still got Tonali to come back at some point, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm sure Manchester United would like Isaac and Gamiris, wouldn't you, Alex?
Alex, do you think that
I would love Isaac, yeah, for 100%.
Yeah, do you think that Gordon's of the quality to join a club like Liverpool?
My only reservation with that isn't he a massive Everton fan? So would he even want to go?
I mean, he was very quick to turn around to Everton and say, "Sell me to Newcastle." So I think when it comes to his career, I think I'm not too sure how much he cares.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I was thinking. Like, would he? But up there in Liverpool, they're very fierce. So I don't know. I couldn't imagine him wanting to go there. However, if he did, I don't really know, because it just depends on the new manager. I think we have to wait for him to come in and to see how that would work and who he would want. So yeah, I think that any new players for Liverpool, I'm just going to be super intrigued, because it's all going to be based off of their new manager coming in. So I don't know.
Yeah. I would have thought one of the stipulations made by Edwards, when he came in, was to the manager, was that, you're Dutch and you're not buying anybody.
Stay
away. You're not going nowhere near. You just coach the team. We're not going down that road.
Yeah. We just seen what Man United have done with theirs. Yeah, 100%. Other players that could potentially be linked going out of Liverpool is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Steve. Real Madrid, a team that's very much interested in Trent. Can you see him going?
No. I'll be shocked if he would leave. No, I'm pretty sure. There's nothing sort of concrete about him, going to Real Madrid or anything like that. I've seen the links, but
he's so sick of those links that he's going to drop off and just leave us hanging. Well, great timing. There we go, Steve. There we go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know what more to add on that one. I think Liverpool fans are safe, in the knowledge that he'll be starting for them again next season. Don't see this one happening.
All right. A lot of clubs being linked with Everton defender Gerard Braithwaite. That's not Braithwaite. That's definitely Trent. Gerard Braithwaite. Steve, anything concrete from those clubs?
Well, Manchester United like him a lot. I know that from the fact. Jack, he's got some good contacts, and he's been told that Gerard Braithwaite is liked a lot by Manchester United, and also Newcastle as well. Like I said, Newcastle are looking for central defender. Manchester United are looking for a central defender. Joe Everton need money, and he's probably the most sellable asset they've got. Where they can get the most money from. The problem is that Manchester United and Newcastle won't pay, I don't think anyway, the money that Everton are asking. 65, so I think it's 70 million they're asking for him, which sounds a lot, and it is a lot. But we got to understand, from clubs like Everton, it's similar to the Declan Rice situation last year. It's not when they get a player with this quality or this player of someone who could go on to be special. They want to get them as much money as they can for him. Similar to like Onana. Do you know what I mean? He's a decent, good player, but they're asking just so much money. But as I say, the difficulty there, I mean, once they get into negotiations, they might be able to come to some agreement. But Man United are, a big fans of this one. But yeah,
Alex, happy with this one?
Yeah, 100% happy. I would love it if he'd come. Sound like Kevin Keegan now. I'd love it.
Maybe a bit of a swap with Maguire. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Well, not like for like, thank goodness, but definitely in height wise, because he's like 6'5", he's 22. I think he'd be a great partner for Martinez, but I mean, we'll see about that if it happens. But no, I'd be really happy. I like what I see so far of him. I think he's a good. I said a steady Eddie, and we need a proper good steady Eddie in the team. So yeah, bring him. There's like more for him to learn, develop, grow. So yeah, I'd love it.
Another player linked with Manchester United is Jean-Claire Todibo, Steve. Is that still something that they're interested in?
Yeah, look, I mean, Ten Hag loves this bloke, doesn't he? I mean, he's been like, I think ever since he sort of come to the club, Ten Hag, they've been after this geezer. I can't remember what reason why he didn't go to Manchester United, or reasons or something. Maybe can't even remember. But there's no doubt about it that he's been a big fan, especially Eric Ten Hag's. So definitely one for Manchester United to keep an eye on. To fans, and it could happen. Could happen. Good player.
And Cooperman's also linked with Manchester United as well.
Not heard too much on that one. Can't really say too much about it. What is he? A midfielder? Midfielder, yeah. Dutch is he? Is he
Dutch? Yeah, but creative.
Stay right. It sounds like a Ten Hag one, so I'd stay well away.
All right, just the last few as well. Very, very, very good player for Crystal Palace. No, not this one, not yet, not just yet.
Right.
Eze, linked with Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes. Barachi Eze, if that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. His family was invited to the North London derby.
Okay.
By Daniel Levy. Apparently not the first time that they've been invited and gone there. Part of the Jonathan Barnett agency, CAA base. Which I think the whole entire Tottenham squad is under. So a lot of connections there. Plays on the left wing. There's a little bit of doubt over Son's future at the moment. A lot of Tottenham fans not happy with Son recently. To be fair to him, he's been playing down the middle, but even when he's been out wide, he has been better. But he's 32 now, Son.
Yeah.
Ange is, I'm sure he's looking to replace him. He wouldn't be, you'd be silly if you wasn't. And sometimes when there's a player who's willing to come, who's in the market, in the position that you're looking for, whether it's Son who plays there at the minute or anybody else, especially if they're 32, you have to grab it. And I'm sure he's not the only Tottenham ain't the only club that are going to be after him in the summer. But as I say, his family's been invited there a few times, so maybe they're trying to win him over. It sounds like a little bit, but be interesting. Crystal Palace is doing well, though. You know what I mean? Could he stay another year now? He's only young. Be interesting to see.
It will be.
They do well, but they're not in Champions League, so that's going to be like a big draw for Eze.
Yeah, it will be.
But
neither will Tottenham.
Wow! You never know. All right, Europa League then.
Liverpool 2-1 up at the moment. So
yes, they are. Another player who is probably going to be one of the hottest properties from the Premier League this summer from Crystal Palace is Michael Elise. Every single club will be sniffing around this player. Steve, who's the most likely club that Michael Elise will end up at, if not staying at Crystal Palace?
almost felt like there was going to be a drum roll there, Keir. It was like the last one. He was building up to
sorry. That's not the last one. There's still one more. But
okay, like Michael Elise. Like, yeah. I mean, what a player. I mean, absolutely. Well, you know, kid could end up being anything. What is he? French, isn't he? French international.
Yeah.
Or he plays for France. Been born in England. Something on those lines. And you're absolutely right. Every club, top clubs, you know, looking at him at the minute. You know, Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester United, all of them. And it's just about, as you said, like who's, you know, most likely to get him. David Ornstein, you know, said that you know, when he leaves, it will be for a Champions League team in the Champions League. So that cuts it down, you know, considerably. You would have thought. I mean, look, this can all change. Do you know what I mean? But you know, as you go further into the winter, but at this stage, you know, I've been told that he wants to play for a Champions League club. Mm-hmm. So straight away, you look at Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, probably Aston Villa. The club really. I mean, you would have thought that Elise would want to start. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't see him wanting to come and sit on the bench. Liverpool, you would think, well, if Salah leaves, maybe he could go there. But at the moment, it seems that Salah's going to stay for another year, so maybe we can cross Liverpool off. But I'm pretty sure that if Liverpool did come in, they would be the favourites. Arsenal, he's obviously, you know, Arsenal have Odegaard and Saka, so he's obviously not going to be a regular starter there. You know, he definitely will sort of rotate. Whether he's up for that or not, only he knows. Probably not. You know, I wouldn't have thought. So really, you're left with Aston Villa. So they're what for me. I'd keep an eye on them.
All right, Alex, a player that is clearly someone that Manchester United would like, a player that you'd like. Do you see the benefit of him going to a club like Aston Villa if they get Champions League, or would you if you was Elise, stay and maybe scope the lay of the land a little bit more?
I think you should scope the land a little bit more. I mean, not to
or maybe wait until Man United back in the Champions League.
Maybe go to Man United.
I mean, the thing is,
he may not get in front of Anthony. He may not get in front of Anthony, but he can bide his time.
Yeah, I mean, he can bide his time. I just think, I don't know. I just think he's going to be incredible. I think he already is. So
let it go. Let it go, Alex. Let him go.
For my team, I'm just saying to play at Villa. I mean, is it? There's no like necessarily guarantee that they're going to play in the Champions League every year. So there could be a one season wonder in the Champions League. So I don't know. I would have thought that like Spurs would be a good draw. Like Chelsea would have been a good shout. Like Arsenal would have been a good shout. Or City, one of those clubs that, you know, if he's looking to do that. I mean, I would love in my team, but that's like a hope, a dream that was just not going to come true. So that was my only thing about him joining Aston Villa. I just don't know why he would do that. Doesn't seem like it.
And Steve, finally, Arsenal chief scout advising Arsenal to take a look at former Manchester City defender Yan Couto.
Yeah, former Real Madrid scout, South American scout. Anyway, Javier, the name's gone. What's his name? Paolo Javier or something. Anyway, has advised Mikel Arteta and Edu to take a look at this kid. I think he's 21, 22-year-old, playing at Girona at the moment. Apparently he's smashing it up over there. He's a right back, which obviously that sounds like he'll sort of rotate with Ben White. Maybe they're looking at playing, Timber out on the left, which won't be surprising because that's where when we have seen him since he's come to the club, he has been playing at the left back. So, maybe he's being a bit ruthless. Maybe he wants someone who's a young player. And we do know that Arsenal are looking at youth development in the window. And this guy could be one of them. So, yeah, look, it's very early days on this one. He's obviously at Girona. He's on loan from Manchester City. There's that old chestnut, with Man City are now, especially with Arsenal sort of matching them blow for blow in the Premier League, whether they'd let Arsenal have him or not. But yeah, don't know too much about the player. I don't know if you or Alex have seen him play. I haven't, but yeah, look, certainly one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. Liverpool now 3-1 up against Aston Villa. Looks like it could be game over. 48th minute gone, and Tottenham still could get that top 4 spot. But yeah, I know. Did you see Ange Postecoglou today? It's quite funny because it was kind of a little bit
fighting talk, wasn't it?
It was a bit of a call out of the fans that are saying that they want Tottenham to lose. And he seemed very annoyed by it, which I completely understand.
Yeah. What is it like? I mean, I don't know if it's my age, right? But I don't remember.
You don't want your team to lose.
I don't remember this, right? Yeah. I go back to when my time watching Arsenal, and I've watched them all my life, season ticket holder, years and years and years, just constantly watching them. Title races, Champions League races. And I couldn't give a shit about what others did. I really couldn't care less what they did. Didn't care. We had this thing with the Champions League when we had the big question, would you mean not going in the Champions League or winning if they won because we was fighting to get in the Champions League. And someone was asking the question, do you, as an Arsenal fan, would you not have the Champions League, right? Mm-hmm. And if it meant Tottenham not winning that Champions League game against Liverpool. And I know my answer was, no way. Do you know what I mean? I want the Champions League. I want my club to improve. Mm. No, and the thing is as well, 3-2 now, as we're talking. But the thing is, not one person, and this is how thick Tottenham fans are. Not all of you, right? I know a few, but most of you. Not one person.
Most of you.
Not one person, right, has worked out the fact that they could let City win, and then West Ham could draw against on the final day, and they could lose Champions League and Arsenal win the league. But no thickhead Spurs fan has worked that one out. Yeah. Right? They think just because they won't win against City, it's we've stopped Arsenal win. You ain't stopped shit.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? It's tribalism, though. And for them, their beef isn't with Liverpool. Their beef isn't with City. They don't care. They just care about you guys winning. That hurts them more.
Why?
It's tribalism. It's rivalries. It's it is that. It's what it is.
No, I do get that to a certain extent, but you're talking about your team not getting in Champions League football.
No, I would not want that for my team. I'd want to win.
Yeah.
I would want to win. I mean, if it's I'm just thinking if it's like Liverpool and they're, going to win, I'm just going to hope that they trip up somehow. But I want to be in Champions League, of course. So yeah. I don't know about that. But yeah, I know they want you guys to win at all.
They don't want us to win because they know they won't ever hear the last of
it. But they haven't worked it out. I've listened, I've been working today, and while I've been working, I've been listening to Talk Sport. Do you know what I mean? I put on a few and all the Tottenham, all the same. Yeah, we've got to lose. And I'm thinking, if you not, one of you, please say it.
Yeah.
You could win, right, and still give us. We should still win the title, but you losing could not give you the Champions League. So can you imagine, right? City beating them, right? So obviously that means they don't get Champions League football when Villa, they could have gone above Villa, and then West Ham draw against us on the last day. And we beat Everton. So what's What's the? It doesn't. And see, the thing is with rivalry. I know what you're saying. Again, I'm a little bit like. I'm a little bit. What's going on here? Excuse me. 3-1 offside.
Offside.
See, I thought it was another goal. I was like, what's happening?
No. So 3-1. Choked off.
But see, again, I'm different. My rivals, whatever's going on at the time. Mm-hmm. It's like my rival now. I know people are different. I know like it's like Tottenham and Man United, or you're right. They're not my rivals at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I don't look at what they're doing. My rival is Liverpool and Man City at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. They're the people I want to lose every week. I'm not looking at what Man United and Tottenham are doing every week. I don't care what they're doing. I'm looking at them. So the rival, when people say your rivals, no disrespect to Man United, Tottenham, but you're not my rival anyway. Sorry, Alex, but you're not.
No,
I've just seen Leon Bailey go mental at Ollie Watkins, and I'm trying to work out why.
I agree with you, because like I've said so many times, I don't see Arsenal as a rival, so that's why I'm like, win the thing.
Yeah. I see you in the chat. I see you saying that in the chat. I see you saying it.
Yeah, I don't feel it, so that's not where I'm at. So win it, please. But yeah.
All right. We will see come Sunday what happens. But first of all, Tottenham versus Manchester City tomorrow. Also, the Arsenal show. Don't forget that.
Oh my God, exciting! I thought it was on Thursday.
It's come around very quickly. It's tomorrow. Make sure you join us for the post-match reaction of the Arsenal game on Sunday. Big game. 2 screens on. Final countdown.
You're doing a watch along.
I'm doing a watch along. I'll be doing a watch along for that game.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to be. I haven't got a clue where I'm going to be. On probably got to find somewhere.
The caravan, Steve. You have to be in the caravan.
I've got the
whatever
Wi-Fi.
You was doing last time Arsenal won the league. You need to be doing that again.
I was in a caravan watching it on the telly.
You know where you got to be then. It's the final countdown on Sunday. Arsenal versus Everton. I don't even know Man City are playing. They got Luton or something like that.
West Ham.
West Ham.
Can you imagine West Ham?
Moyes' last game.
All the family down the caravan, and they're West Ham.
Is it a London Stadium?
What?
Is it a London Stadium? Is it a West Ham Stadium?
No, it's look, Alex, we know we're hoping. You've got to try. You've got to hope. That's all you got is hope.
I think it's the way that game.
The likeliness is we ain't going to win it.
So. Yeah. Wow.
But we've done everything we can do. Do you know what I mean? We can't do no. We've taken Man City to the last. We've made Manchester City. Game week 38 for us. We've made Man City have to win their last 2 games. What more can you ask for?
It's progression from last year. That's what we wanted as football fans. We want to be in and amongst it till the final whistle. Only one team can win it, so the expectations to win this league against Manchester City would be absolutely crazy. But we do want to be in the conversations every season. So
come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
I won't go that far. I'll celebrate after the game, not ever during. Thank you for joining us.
I'm definitely going to switch on.
I'll be watching it. But we saw last season.
I'll be popping in the caravan going,
an absolute disappointment afterwards for everyone else who cheered for Spurs during that game. You just realised that you needed to have a bath afterwards because you cheered for Spurs and then lost.
We got our build up before the game. What time are you on?
I don't even know. You put me on the spot, Steve. I don't even know. We'll see. Post will come out soon. Thank you for joining us tonight, Alex.
Thanks for having me. It's great chat.
Good fun.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Steve, as well.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
All right. Make sure you join us next Monday when we'll be talking about who won the Premier League. And I'm sure if Manchester City win the Premier League, Kevin will be here. If they don't, he won't be. Yeah. We've not seen Farrell since Arsenal beat Liverpool, so he won't be here, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what, if we win it, I will pop on.
If we win it, I'll be doing a 24-hour stream, mate. I'll be smashed. Oh, my God. I'll be taking it. It's just not a national holiday. You wouldn't hear the last of it. You will not hear the last of it if Arsenal win the Premier League.
Yeah, right? God help everybody. God help everybody. I'm coming for you.
It will be. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight in the comment section. If you are new to the show, press that like, subscribe button. If you are a regular, press that like button and press that share button. I really appreciate it as well. Peace out, people. Stay safe. Oh, always missed the button.
Come on, you Spurs.
Stay.
I don't care.
Go and wash your mouth out of soap.
I don't care. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Hammers.